Good morning. Thank you for joining us for the presentation of the 2021 Educator Workforce Investment Grant Program for Computer Science. This technical assistance webinar is provided by the Educator Excellence and Equity Division at the California Department of Education. Please note that this webinar is being recorded. At this time, all webinar participants have been placed on mute. Also, please remember that this webinar is being recorded. As questions arise during the webinar, please type your questions in the chat box. We will do our best to answer those questions during the questions and answers portion of the webinar. Lastly, we will be providing the slides and notes on the CDE 2021 Educator Workforce Investment Grant Program for Computer Science webpage. The Budget Act of 2021, item 6100-195-0001, provides $5 million on a one-time basis to establish the Educator Workforce Investment Grant, or EWIG, for computer science. This EWIG CS Professional Learning Grant will fund one successful applicant $5 million from March 3, 2022 through March 29, 2024. The purpose of the EWIG CS Professional Learning Grant is to develop and provide professional learning to teachers and paraprofessionals in public schools serving kindergarten and grades 1 to 12 inclusive. The professional learning activities must be designed to provide high-quality instruction and computer science learning experiences that support system-wide implementation of the California Computer Science Content Standards developed pursuant to California Education Code Section 60605.4. The selected grantee will become an important member of the statewide system of support, providing targeted support focused on strategies for providing high-quality CS instruction and CS learning experiences aligned to the CS content standards developed pursuant to Education Code 60605.4. In addition, the grantee will work with the statewide agencies to ensure coherence with existing systems of support and professional learning within the state. In addition to the statewide system of support, individuals and collective capacity are developed when the Quality Professional Learning Standards, or the QPLS, which identify elements of quality professional learning systems, are implemented well. 7 interdependent standards support professional learning that is rooted in student and educator needs demonstrated through data, focused on content and pedagogy, designed to ensure equitable outcomes, designed and structured to be ongoing, intensive, and embedded in practice, collaborative with an emphasis on shared accountability, supported by adequate resources, and coherent and aligned with other standards, policies, and programs. More information about the QPLS is available on the CDE QPLS webpage at www.cde.ca.gov/PD/PS/QPLS.ASP. This 2021 EWIG CS Professional Learning Grant will fund one successful applicant $5 million from March 3, 2022 through March 29, 2024. Lead applicants must be an IHE or a nonprofit organization with demonstrated expertise in developing and providing professional learning to teachers and paraprofessionals in public schools. If multiple IHEs and/or NPOs partner, a lead applicant must be identified. Applicants that propose to partner with the COE, or a County Office of Education, or consortium of COEs will be given positive consideration. Applicants must be able to demonstrate knowledge of and capacity to implement the CACS content standards in a manner that aligns with the statewide system of support. One grantee will collaboratively work with the statewide system of support to build the capacity of LEAs across the state through professional learning opportunities for teachers, paraprofessionals, school leaders, and counselors that pertain to strategies for high quality instruction and CS learning experiences aligned to the CACS content standards and aligned to the QPLS. The grantee must structure collective learning around an evidence-based cycle of continuous learning and improvement, maintaining a consistent focus on shared goals. The grantee must also develop and include resources for teachers and paraprofessionals that use instructional techniques and strategies, including interactive and project-based activities with strong CS content, collaborative learning, inquiry-based pedagogy, and culturally and linguistically responsive teaching. They must also develop differentiated instructional strategies in CS education to prepare and encourage young students and beginners, students with disabilities, female students, and underrepresented minorities. The grantee must also facilitate cycles of feedback and reflection that are spaced over time through opportunities for teachers to solicit and receive feedback and input to change instructional practice. The following slides address specific requirements of the EWIG CS grant application. Submission requirements. Complete the application electronically through the EWIG CS online application, which is available on the RFA webpage at www.cdE.gov/FO/CSE/EWIG21RFA.ASP. In addition, you must separately attach supporting evidence as one file, including the EWIG CS proposed budget, letters of commitment, scope of work, and organizational chart. The applicant must also submit a complete application, which consists of 4 general types of information. 1, applicant information. 2, applicant narrative. 3, budget information. And 4, letters of commitment. Please also provide the appropriate digital signature and submit the application by Friday, December 17th, 2021 before 4 p.m. Let me reiterate, that is Friday, December 17th, 2021 before 4 p.m. Please refer to the scoring rubric, which is Appendix A, to understand how responses will be evaluated by the reading panel. You must select the Save Responses button on the first page of the online application. If you do not intend to complete the application in one session, once you select and save response and hit the Save Responses button, a page will appear that asks for your email address. You will receive an email with a unique URL or web address for entrance back into the application. Although you should receive the confirmation email, it is recommended that you copy the URL on the application page and save it. This address will allow you to return to your application. The application narrative is broken up into 2 parts: CS EWIG goals and activities, and proposed metrics that will be discussed on the following slides. Part 1 Computer Science Educator Workforce Investment Grant Goals and Activities has six sections: Vision and Mission, Quality Professional Learning Standards, Computer Science Capacity Builder, Computer Science Resource Connector, Computer Science Facilitator, and Project Participants. Please note that signed letters of commitment from partners that are addressed to the lead applicant must be provided. Part 2 pertains to proposed metrics. The grantee must collect, analyze, reflect upon, and report various sources of data of evidence of changes and/or improvements in collective practices. It is required that the grantee will also provide specific information for a report required by legislation. Successful applicants must be able to demonstrate that the specific proposed plan is conceptually clear and technically feasible. There is a specific character limit for each item, which is shown in Appendix B, Online Application Instructions. Please note that there is a counter that shows how many characters have been included. Although you are able to include more characters when the application is pulled for review, it will only show the maximum number of characters allowed for each item. Please note that it will only show the maximum number of characters allowed for each item when we pull the application. Completing the application budget. The application budget covers the entire grant period. March 3rd, 2022 through March 29, 2024. The eWIG CS proposed budget template is available on the eWIG CS RFA webpage. There are 6 tabs that need to be completed: Budget Form Instructions, IHE or NPO Information, Proposed Budget Summary, Year 1 Proposed Budget Details, Year 2 Proposed Budget Details, and Year 3 Proposed Budget Details. Only unlocked cells may be edited. The eWIG CS proposed budget must be submitted as an Excel file through the online application. Please see the attachment instructions in Appendix B, Online Application Instructions. The proposed budget detail must include a detailed budget, narrative, or description for each line item included in the grant period. The narrative should include how the proposed costs are necessary and reasonable in terms of grant activities, benefits to the participants, and grant outcomes. Please provide sufficient detail and a breakdown calculation that justifies each line item. Group line items by the object code series and provide lines for object code totals. The proposed budget summary should provide totals for each object code and should align with the proposed budget details. As part of the eWIG program, the grantee must limit administrative costs, indirect costs, to a maximum 8% indirect cost rate. The review process. Only fully completed applications will be considered eligible for consideration and advance to the Readers Conference. A panel of readers selected for their expertise will read, review, and score each eligible application using a scoring rubric. See Appendix A. Readers will be instructed to read each proposal in its entirety to get an overall impression of the project and whether it makes sense overall. Points will be awarded based on completeness and responsiveness of the application to each of the required application components. Interviews with potential grantees may be conducted. All costs associated with the interviews will be the responsibility of the applicant. The selected applicant is subject to approval by the Executive Director of the State Board of Education. Each section has a specific amount of points, with each item in a section having maximum point values. Part 1 has a total of 104 points possible, while Part 2 has a total of 16 points possible. The budget is a total of 8 points. The total possible point value is 128 points. Part 1, the vision and mission, has a point value of 16 points. Quality professional learning standards has a maximum point value of 20 points. Computer science capacity builder has a maximum value of 24 points. Computer science resource connector has a maximum value of 16 points. Computer science facilitator has a maximum value of 20 points. Project participants has a maximum value of 8 points. Proposed metrics has a maximum value of 16 points, and the budget has a maximum value of 8 points. Please note the important upcoming deadlines for the eWIG CS application. Applications are due to the CDE Friday, December 17, 2021 before 4 p.m. The intent to award will be posted on Thursday, February 10, 2022. The last day for appeals to be received by the CDE is Thursday, February 17, 2022 by 4 p.m. And final awards posted are March 3rd, 2022. Please note that we also have some resources from the CDE. Detailed information about the eWIG CS and the specific requirements are provided in the RFA. However, applicants should be familiar with the listed resources that contain further information pertinent to the eWIG CS. The quality professional learning standards serve as a foundation for the content, processes, and conditions essential to all educator professional learning over time. They can be found at www.cde.ca.gov/PD/PS/QPLS.ASP. The California Computer Science Standards for California Public Schools, kindergarten through grade 12, contain 5 core concept areas and 7 core practices. It also includes significant themes, including equity, powerful ideas, computational thinking, and breadth of application. They are available at https://www.cde.ca.gov/COMPUTERScience/TDS.ASP. The California Computer Science Strategic Implementation Plan provides guidance for local plan development and refinement of CS education and includes a vision, mission, and CS principles. It is divided into 3 sections: equity and access, supporting educators to teach CS, and expanding CS course offerings. They are available at https://www.cde.ca.gov/PD/CS/CSSIP.ASP. The California statewide system of support is designed to build local capacity and assist local educational agencies, or LEAs, in identifying and addressing inequities as part of the continuous improvement process. The support includes 3 levels: 1, support for all; 2, individually designed or differentiated assistance; and 3, intensive intervention. They're available. More information is available at https:// www.cde.ca.gov/sp/sw/t1/CSSS.asp. Do we have any questions? Let me look at the chat right now. Okay, so there's a question is it possible to get a specific list of grant submissions, prompts, specific questions or categories, and their word limits? They do not appear to be specified in the RFA Appendix B. Yes, I can send that out. I can send that out. We can also try and post that onto the CDE website for the RFA. So please take a look on there. Should have it up hopefully in a few days. Let me see. Yes, there's a question regarding the budget. It's because the first year will be from March 3rd, 2022 through June 31st, 2022. So that'll be a partial year. So you will do it in those types of increments. On the budget forms, they actually have the specific dates that you would need to, you will need to put in for the activities. Yes, the PowerPoint will be available on the 2021 CDE EWIG CS webpage. For the question regarding the past grant to see lessons learned, for the past grants, the funds were not allocated because actually COVID occurred and the funds were reallocated by the government. So that grant did not occur, the 2019 EWIG CS grant. For questions regarding were there any changes from the 2019 to 2021, you can actually take a look to see if there are any changes. There were some questions that were added, I will say, to the 2021 RFA. So if you previously submitted a 2019 RFA, note that not all questions that were in the initial rubric and questions application were not provided, were not included for the 2021. Is there a requirement that all collaborators are institutions in California? There is not a requirement that all institutions that are collaborating are based in California. Our school is, if you're a school that has K-8 students with disabilities, you can still apply as long as you have, as long as you partner with a county office, an institution of higher education or a nonprofit organization. They will need to actually be the lead applicant. So if your school is a nonprofit, even though it is K-8, as long as you are registered as a nonprofit organization, you may be the lead applicant. However, if you are not, the lead applicant does need to be an IHE or an NPO. Are there any other questions that individuals may have? Okay, it does not seem to be that there are any more questions. So we actually finished a little more than half an hour early. So if you have any questions, if you need more information, please contact me, Emily Oliva, if you have program questions. Or if you have downloading questions, you can contact my colleague, Alyssa Khan. We can be contacted and connected through email at plsmo@cde.ca.gov. If there are no further questions, I hope you have a good day. I'm sorry, there is one more question that came up. Is there a way to download the grant questions? The grant questions are actually included in the RFA. So if you look at the RFA, it is within the application narrative portion. Those are the questions that you will be responding to. With respect to the email, once again, if you have any questions, please contact Alyssa or I. Our email is plsmo@cde.ca.gov. There are no other questions. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. I know there are multiple holidays and vacations coming up. I do hope that you are able to take some time. I know the past few years have been, there have been a lot of pivoting and changes that have occurred. So I hope you all stay safe and enjoy the rest of the week and the rest of the year. Thank you.